Hi everyone, this is Snit, and in this video I would like to open up the word free. Now, I've been working with this individual and there's a common I want to say theme, and what I mean by theme is when there's something that comes through in their communication or writing that's there every single time, just in a different way. In other words, this individual I've been working with, the word free came through in very often in their writings or their communication, and you can just get a general sense of them having this idea of, okay, I need to set myself free. I need to be free. So, freedom is something we can all relate to. And here I am speaking of freedom in the emotional, mental sense of the word, not, the reality of there being enslavement and slavery existing in, or imprisonment in some way or another. Where the word free plays a more physical, practical role, the real world role. Free or freedom in terms of a freedom from your own self, let's call it the worst of you, that those negative aspects inside yourself that you are aware of that's compromising you or hurting you in some way or another. Hurting meaning, it was interesting because I've also sometimes in my life worked with a part of me. Mine was self-judgment, where I would always go into the sense of being self-conscious and insecure and fearful, like petrified, in terms of getting any feedback. Or, when a person was toward me a certain way, I'd almost go into an emotional breakdown of, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Where did I say something wrong? Should I have done this? Should I have done? And it was nonstop. And, it's like I started realizing how that part of me was literally hurting me inside myself. I was hurting myself. And it just gets sometimes to a point where you just have enough. And you get so tired of the same thing happening inside of you, and you've got no solution coming your way or opening up inside yourself, and you've tried anything and everything else. So, with my process, what's worked for me has been self-forgiveness and writing. Walking a process of understanding, all right, how did I create this? Where does it come from? Wow, from how long back can I remember this existing in me? Going into the detail of understanding the problem, because I've learned understanding the problem in writing, so putting it out there in front of me in reality, and doing it, not in the sense of ranting and raving, but equipping yourself with a necessary, let's call it, stability inside yourself and almost a calm while you are writing out the problem. Otherwise, if you rant and rave and you become the problem and I go into the judgment again, it's like it was too overwhelming for me. I couldn't handle it. I had to find a better way of looking at the problem inside myself and reflecting on it at the same time, while investigating it and going, okay, I want to understand this problem. And that's who I am, is being calm and stable in the problem while writing about it. Assisted and supported me in understanding it. And from there, self-forgiveness, forgiving myself for essentially hurting myself, for what I've done to myself. We almost so often take for granted, self-forgiveness and what we can actually do to ourselves in our own minds. And within that, I can relate to sometimes feeling like I just want to be free from myself. I want to be free from this. Especially when I blamed other people for my reactions and what was going on in me and making me feel the way I did, instead of realizing, I was doing it to myself. And each one of us can relate to wanting to be free from yourself, wanting to be released from your mind. Then we go into blaming our minds. I also did that. I believed I was imprisoned in my mind in the way that it is, and I have to make the best of it, this life. I didn't know any other solutions which you could even work with yourself or change yourself when I was younger. All of this more happening when I was in my late teens, early 20s, or even earlier teens when I went back and looked at where it all started. But what I would like everyone to have a look at inside yourself is, where have you created the polarity of an illusion of being imprisoned inside yourself? Meaning, where have you, in a sense, create your own self-imprisonment by blaming your own mind and your emotions for the state that you are constantly and continuously experiencing, as though you are locked in chains of your own consciousness and your own emotions, and you've got no power to do anything. It might even be a subconscious or an unconscious belief that you haven't even realized that you've accepted. How do you know that? You've got to ask yourself, but, have I actually really understood the problem? Have I really embraced it? Have I really gone into detail of what is going on in me? And if I can't, and if I don't understand yet, reach out to those who seem to have an understanding of how thoughts, inner dialogue, and emotions work. Do research. Get data, get information, look for solutions. Who's maybe gone through the same or similar problem as you have? It is interesting how many blogs or vlogs are out there of individuals who share, what they go through and their problems in their mind, how they understood the problem and how they deal with it. So within dealing with it, what does that mean? That it also took time, with really understanding the whole problem and writing about it. Initially, you think you know what the problem is. I also had that, let's call it, arrogance inside myself. When someone said to me, have you really looked at the problem? Of course I have. I am the problem. It is in me all the time. What are you talking about? Do I know the problem? What detail do I need to go into? What specific stuff is there? What else is there and could there be? It is right here in my head all the time. There isn't anything more. Wow, was I wrong? When I sat down with myself and just actually went into it inside myself and opened it up more, walked in my memories, I could see exactly how I created it. And the reason why I resisted it was also because I was very, very comfortable in my zone of blaming everything and everyone else, except for taking responsibility for me. So writing about the problem just makes me realize even more that, okay, I see I created this, see where I allowed it, where I accepted it, where I reacted, and I didn't stand up for myself. Inside of me, stand up for myself, meaning not standing up against people. That's not standing up for yourself. That's fighting. Standing up for yourself is an inner standing. It's a rising of the better of you, the best of you, the creation of a solution inside yourself. Because when you, for example, accept self-judgment and you go into it, other than, for example, what about rather asking the person what they meant, then going into your thoughts and emotions spinning out of control, assuming what the other person was doing or saying, and we all know where assumption leads. So then I just started asking people, was I afraid to do it? Yeah, but I can say going through that moment of fear was a lot better than my thoughts spinning out of control with me that whole entire day almost. After that moment had already been a memory. And most times when I go to people, they go, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Can you describe it to me? Then fortunately I could also do this with people I know, so I could go into a bit more detail. I said to them, well, your eyes went into like a frown and your lips went all tight and you kind of just swished away. And they're like, no, man, I was thinking of a thought and a memory of all the things I still need to do. I was just like tense because I didn't do and get to all the things I needed to the day before. So I'm just angry with myself, something like that. So how does all of this relate to the freedom point? Is I've used, whenever I feel like I want to set myself free or I want to be free, I use it as a reference inside myself of knowing, okay, somewhere I am blaming something or someone else for a state that I'm in that I'm not actually taking care of. and dealing with and finding a solution for, that subconsciously or unconsciously, I'm feeling like I'm chained and imprisoned inside myself, and it's actually weighing on me, like chains do. It's actually making me feel limited. It is making me feel constricted and constrained, and you won't believe the difference that comes inside yourself when you, I'm not going to say set yourself free, point by point, problem by problem inside yourself. I'm more going to say when you give yourself the keys, the solution to a problem inside yourself in your life, and then you'll realize it's never been about feeling chained or imprisoned or having to release yourself or be free from something or set yourself free. It is about seeing problems for what they are and creating solutions for yourself. And not only that, but why not also go out there and assist and support as many people as you can in sharing what you've learned about yourself. You'll be surprised at how many people will appreciate that guidance. All right, everyone, thank you very much. So go out there, create and find your keys and to the doors that open to solutions inside yourself. And you'll realize on another dimension, as another example in my work for some, you've never been imprisoned. You've actually just always been in front of a door. You just haven't found your own key to it, to open it up to another part of yourself. All right, everyone. So just another different way to look at it that will assist and support. Thank you very much.